And so we continue with week 2 in how to create your character. Now in week 1 we looked at that you are a unique person. And if you're a unique person, you should also have the ability to create a unique partnership with others who are unique just like you. So a quick update on our schedule. This is week 2 of Why Bother? And then after this we'll be going to 9 weeks of how to create your character, how to create your story, and how to create your lesson. And then finishing up with 3 weeks of what it's all for. So when we come back to the idea of a unique partnership, a team of individuals who are all unique, this is what we really aspire for when we create a unique character, story, and meaning, because you want to be surrounded by others who are doing the same thing, which of course would be unique. And that's what makes you all the same, your uniqueness. So this really leads to the question of how to make friends. And unfortunately, where we have to start with this is eliminate how not to make friends, which is the main way that most people go about it. Most individuals make their friends in school or at work, which isn't wrong or evil, but these are places where you're kind of forced to be together. And yes, you do things, you play, you have fun, you even make relationships and go out and experience things together, but what are you doing on an ambitious level? Are you journeying together into the unknown and producing something that no one has ever seen before? Well, of course not. You don't have this kind of unique team of individuals with a character, with a story, and with a lesson that they're building towards on a lifelong basis. Again, it doesn't make the classroom or work wrong for a place to cultivate relationships, but don't confuse that with the friendships that you want to truly embody, which is more displayed in a picture like this. When we're children, we like this kind of idea. Oh, a group of individuals, everybody's unique, but you're not born this way. Remember the picture of the ducky. Every human being is born as the gray ducky. They have the potential to create a unique character, story, and lesson, but you have to do that. No one's born into that uniqueness. You're only born with the potential to create those things. And what you don't want as you start this process is this: a bunch of unique people that are just like you. That eliminates your uniqueness. What you do want is a little bit of this, and maybe some of this. But how do you find these unique people, these unique characters to work alongside your own? That is where we come with how to make friends. This is an important question. So, you don't start by trying to look at yourself, you look at what's around you. And the first person, the most important person to talk to, is God. God has a unique character, a unique story, and a unique lesson that He's working on. And here's a picture that displays what is not God's story. God's story is not about humanity. We are part of His story, but His story spans all time. It existed before the creation of the material world. The material world is part of that story, but don't confuse our world as God's story. What is His story? We don't know. But how do you figure it out? How do you learn about God's character, His story, and His lesson? You actually have to go to Him. And He's not in a book. He's not in a group of individuals who meet every week. You can't learn about Him from anyone other than Him. And He's not in your mind, He's not in your heart, He's not in your body. You have to go to where there are no thoughts, emotions, and actions, to the spiritual world where only your soul can abide with Him by faith. So as you learn about His character, His story, and His macro huge lesson that He's trying to develop, you start to get a little bit of an idea of where you might fit in. Then you can go even further by figuring out what is the character that your team wants. And what is your team? Your team's your mind, heart, and body. You're the soul, and your mind wants to rule the world. Your heart wants to fill the world, and your body wants to subdue the world. They both want to do it all. All three of them want to do these three things completely. But you as the soul have to decide what is the character you're going to play. You will always think, feel, and act, but you have to kind of narrow it down. You're not infinite like God is. You can't be all things in all places and all times like He is. So you're going to have to choose at some point. and really focus yourself on how your character is going to be unique. But if you talk to your team, learn how they like to think, feel, and act, you'll start getting some pieces to that puzzle. And you also want to look at others. Now, this oftentimes gets a bad rap, and you don't want to be the way others want you to be. But if you've noticed, we're always very curious how others want us to be, how others perceive us. Why? Because it gives us little bits and pieces on where we might be able to fit. So when you look at this team, each one of them is amazing and unique and talented, but they also, by that uniqueness, they now have a need for others who can support them in other unique ways. So as you learn about people around you, particularly those who are pursuing this kind of lifelong ambitious path, what they lack is you. So as you learn about them, you start to see where you might be able to fit, because they're not God, they're not all sufficient. They need something, they need someone, and that would be you. So one of the secrets here is you don't want to make the character God wants, you don't want to make the character your team wants, or what others want, but each of these is like getting a little piece of the puzzle. And it's really about what's missing. When you look at the world around you, you get frustrated by things. Oh man, they don't have enough passion, or they don't have enough tenderness. Whatever they're missing, whatever you see in the world that annoys you, that's missing, that's where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be that missing piece. So when you look out, you'll see what's missing, and you start putting all these puzzle pieces around you, a little bit of strength maybe, a little bit of character, a little bit of justice, a little bit of excitement, whatever it is, whatever the elements are that are missing in this world, when you start putting them together, you'll see your unique character, story, and lesson. That's you, all those missing pieces, that's where you belong, helping each person, God and your team, and the world around you, all these unique people, helping them in their stories by being what they're lacking. And what they're lacking is you. So you make friends by being the unique character that's needed for their story. And since all their stories are missing you, that is going to help you define you in the unique way that you want to be. So we're going to have to make this concrete with a week 2 project. This is going to be very similar to week 1, but you need to answer the question, how does being your friend change someone's life? Remember, they're lacking. What are they lacking? They're lacking you. So as a unique person with a unique character, story, and lesson, how does that change someone's life by being in a relationship with you? How are you going to help them achieve their ambition by being in the pursuit of your ambition? And you can answer by creating a list, a picture, a song, story, or any other expression. Use your primary means of communication with the world to tell how being your friend will change someone's life. But as always, your project must teach something unique about yourself, creation, and God, because that is the responsibility of a human creator. Everything you create must have these 3 elements laced artfully inside your creations.